What is up, guys? Big M back on the road. If you haven't seen my last video, I'll obviously leave a link in the description. It was my crash video. I ended up basically coming off the PCX, which, as you can see, I'm riding now. It's okay, it's rideable. I'm getting it back to my house, and I'll be showing you sort of the damage and everything. It's pretty much cosmetic damage, I'm hoping. I have the bike booked in at Newcastle Motorcycles next Wednesday to basically get a good check over. I'm really hoping it is just the cosmetic side, and there's no sort of damage to like the bars or anything. So I'm pretty much coming up to where I had the accident now, because since I crashed, the bike has been at my better half's house. If you can see in the mirror behind us, basically I've got my dad following me, so that if anything does happen, he's obviously there. So as you can see there, I'm not sure on this camera angle because obviously I hit the camera, but the bike landed there and I came off there, but the actual accident happened pretty much at that lamppost. So you can sort of see how far I slid. Oh, it's a bit muddy here. So you can see sort of how far I slid compared to where I actually had the accident. So some of you are probably wondering what sort of damage I did to myself. So I went to hospital, I got myself checked over. There was nothing broken, there's nothing sprained. The only thing I've really done, because when I fell, I pretty much directly fell onto my shoulder, onto my left shoulder. According to the doctor, I have damaged my... Basically, there's a big long-winded name for it, but they put it down to the AC/J joint in my shoulder, which can take a couple of weeks to heal, but I don't think I've damaged it too much because I'm still in pain with it, but not as much that I can't actually like drive. I've still got full movement in it, but there's every so often where it just twinges really. But other than that, I'm pretty much unscathed, apart from a bit of bruising, which you'd expect from a slide and a crash on your bike. You'd expect a bit of bruising. But the one thing I am glad about, I was wearing all my gear. And I can't stress this enough, since I've had an accident, I am so glad I've got all this gear on. And in wondering what sort of gear I have on, I have a jacket, gloves, helmet, obviously, and riding pants, which are basically rub resistant, so it stops the whole road rash part. So in regards to the damage to my gear, a lot of you might be wondering, obviously I hit my head with my helmet, but I didn't actually hit the helmet. What took the brunt of the damage is my camera. But I'll take a picture of the camera casing, and there isn't any damage to the casing whatsoever. There's a little tiny nick in the corner where it hit, but props to the GoPro and their casing. No damage whatsoever. And my helmet, I've just got absolutely no scratches on or damage to it whatsoever. I've had all the lining out and everything to check the actual sort of inside of the helmet, and there's no damage to it at all. So I am confident that the helmet has taken no damage. So I'm confident wearing this helmet. Just get around this roundabout. So I'm quite confident wearing this helmet after the accident. My jacket is where the most damage is, because I basically slid on my shoulder and my elbow. But with regards to the most damage, it's pretty much just a bit of rubbing, and it tore a bit of the stitching off. I'll put a picture up on the screen as well of the damage to the jacket. And I honestly thought my riding trousers would be damaged. I'm looking like a normal roundabout and there's cones in the way. Bloody hell. God's sake. So my trousers don't actually have any damage to them whatsoever. They basically got a bit of muck and stuff, but I think the main reason my gear didn't get as damaged as I thought it would was because of how wet it was. So basically the road and stuff there wasn't as much road rash to be had, because the ground was so wet. I basically just glided over the top of it, and the only bits that sort of really dug in were the bits that my whole body weight was on, and that's a lot of weight on it, but it still didn't damage it too much. So all in all, I am good. The bike seems pretty good. I'm riding it. Obviously my confidence has taken a bit of a knock, but I'll be building that back up. I know Lazy Boy in that is going to help me to build my confidence back up. Going on a few rides and things, just to get out there. And Wednesday, when I take it into Newcastle Motorcycles, we'll find out if there's any sort of internal damage, which I really don't think it is. I think it's basically just the damage to the actual fairings and everything, which is easily replaceable. So on that note, I'm now back in my garden with the bike, and as you probably remember in the video, this is the bit that came off of the bike, and that pretty much is that. It's called the outer inner cover. Pretty much it covers the key. That's what the main bit of damage is with the bike. With regards to obviously it's in cosmetic. Let's go to the side it actually fell on first, because it fell on this side, which is obviously mainly the damage is, it said cosmetic. The main bit of damage is obviously on this bit here on the bike. There's, you can see that there. There's a small crack in the fairing, which I'm going to fill that in. And on the pillion wing, I had to remove, obviously the plastic had like warped up here, I had to remove that so the pillion wing can actually come out, but it's all just cosmetic really. But if you can see on the kickstand here, it's more visible on here. That was all black. So when I came off, this is all rubbed against the ground, which has protected whatever this thing is, part of the engine basically. It's protected all that from scraping. Other than that, the wheels and stuff and the front part of the bike, that's all pretty much untouched. Obviously when the bike flipped, which you see in the video, that's when it hit on the other side of the bike, which is where more damage has actually happened, because it's flipped over quite hard. So this is sort of where it hit when it flipped, and you can see there's considerably more damage on this side. But again, it's all cosmetic. Bit on there, bit down there again. And again with the pillion wing, haven't actually removed that much on here. You can see all this sort of crap that's on there. Pillion wing still extends. It's a bit stiff, that one. Not sure why. But that's the main bit that I'm worried about, because obviously all the connectors have sort of snapped off. Obviously that one's still connected, but the rest of them have fully snapped off. And here's one of them that we pulled out the bike. That one sat on there, so it's snapped off. And the top box has got no damage to it whatsoever. and sort of the side and sort of the exhaust shield thing, no damage, which I was surprised at. And the bars themselves, the only bit of damage on the bars is that tiny little scuff there, which is pretty much knout. So the bars have stayed pretty straight. So we're pretty lucky in regards to. Oh, I hit the zoom. There we go. No one wants to get that close. So pretty good on the damage side of the bike. It's still rideable. It's only a bit of fairing. It's not a front part of the fairing, so that makes it a bit better. But my shoulder's getting better. I've got full range of movement now, so there's not much else I can say about it really. I'm safe, I'm good, the bike's good, and like I said, the bike is in for a sort of checkup with Honda Wednesday at 9 o'clock, so we'll see what Honda say about it, and we'll go from there, and I'll give you an update video on that. Until then, as always, ride safe, but have fun.